If you look at my handle, you'll see my name, Pat, and then you'll see DOR, discipline or regret. It's a mindset and approach to life that I've been able to formulate in my own little way by learning from my parents, my siblings, my friends, my idols, particularly Kobe Bryant and J. Cole, and pretty much anybody else that I've come across in my life. And so that's what's allowed me to be able to accomplish all the goals that I set out for myself. And hopefully by the end of this video, you'll also be able to adopt this into your life so you can accomplish the goals that you have set for yourself. And so let's start with discipline. What does discipline mean? Well, to me at least, it means doing what you need to do to get to where you want to go and doing it repeatedly. So let's start that from the beginning. Doing what you need to do to get to where you want to go. Now, let's take a look at your goals, whether it's short term, whether it's long term. Whether it's short term, working for the long term. Whatever your goals are, that should be your number one priority in your actions and whatever you partake in on a daily basis. On a daily basis, that should be your number one priority, and that should always be in your mind whenever you make a decision that you have a choice over and that you can control. And so anytime you reach that moment, oh, should I do this or this? Always have that as a basis of your decisions and keep that in mind every time you make that decision. And that decision that works towards where you're trying to get to, that's the decision that's going to be the disciplined one. And you got to do it repeatedly. You can't do it once or twice or three times and expect your goals to be accomplished and come true overnight, because that's just not how life works. Nothing happens overnight. You could take a look at anybody that we see on TV, anybody that you know that are doing what they're trying to do. It didn't happen in a day. It didn't happen in 2 days. It took years, several years. And now let's take it for example. Let's look at somebody like Michael Jordan. People say greatest basketball player of all time. He had the dream, he had the goal of being the NBA champion when he was a toddler, 5 years old, 6 years old, whatever it is. Didn't win it for another 20 years. Didn't accomplish that goal for another 20 years or so. And so realize that all these things don't happen overnight. They don't happen overnight. So you've got to continue to trust that your disciplined decisions and your efforts will begin to add up. And in time, however long it takes, if you continue to work at it, continue to trust your process, you'll end up reaching that point where you accomplish that goal. And so what does regret mean? Not doing what you need to do to get to where you want to go. Not doing what you need to do to get to where you want to go. And that's going to be the feeling that we get, whether it's a minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10, 15 hours, days, months, years later. We're going to end up getting that feeling where we realize that we never made the right decision to accomplish the goal that we have, and it's too late. It's too late. We can't change the past. We can't change what we did in the past. All we do now is lurk on the decisions that we made, and we're like, damn. We just sit back like, damn, and really wish that we made another decision. But the key when you do make a regret decision is by learning from it and being conscious of it in the moment. In the moment. So as soon as you make that decision, because at the end of the day, we're all humans. We're all imperfect. We're all going to slip up a few times, regardless of what it is. We're not perfect. So that the times you do slip up, be conscious of it. Be aware of it. Catch yourself. Catch yourself in the moment. Whether you already made a decision and it's already gone through and you can't change the past, now realize the next time that you reach that point, you reach that crossroads of decisions, whether it's now you got to choose discipline or regret, keep in mind the decision that you made last time and how it made you feel. Keep in mind how you felt. And now you're able to take that decision of regret and take it back on track. So now you're moving towards discipline and moving towards the goals that you set out for yourself. You're beginning to turn that decision of regret into a decision of discipline. It may knock you off track for a second, but you're able to get back on it as long as you take that decision that you made, turn it into a lesson, and not keep it as just a thought and just a mental process, and turn it into action. Because at the end of the day, if you don't turn that thought, if you don't turn that lesson into action, it means absolutely nothing. It means absolutely nothing. So if you have that thought in mind, you know what you did before and you know what you need to do so you can accomplish your goals, and you don't do it the next time you have the opportunity to change what you did in the past and to correct yourself and work towards your goals, it means absolutely nothing. You've got to be able to change your behaviors, change the decisions that you make. So you've got to be able to be aware in the moment after you do make those regretful decisions. Catch yourself, and the next time you do reach that point where you got to make that decision, you make that right. You make the disciplined decision, the one that works towards your goals. So every time you're reaching a point in your day where you got to make a choice, where you got to decide on what you do, keep in mind the goals that you have. Keep in mind your short-term goals, the long-term goals, what you set out for yourself to do, what you want to do before you leave this earth, what you want to do. Keep that in mind every time you make a decision. Continuously work towards it. Keep it in mind every decision. I'll keep saying it over and over again. So by the time that time to make that decision comes around, you make that disciplined decision, and now you're reaping the benefits of the discipline by the time you accomplish that goal, because you decided to choose discipline. And so, discipline or regret, you choose.